We'll call the meeting to order at 6:30. First on the agenda, is there any changes or additions, Dan?
None.
None. Okay, we'll move into approved minutes of the previous meeting. Minutes of May 23rd, 2016.
Make a motion, we approve them.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So passed. And I'll abstain because I wasn't here. Next, community concerns. Do we have any community concerns? Buckley?
I have a couple.
Okay,
Number one, dogs.
okay.
This is not gonna work, one of our neighborhood. We had another incident the other night, at 1:30 in the morning. 3 dogs, not 2, 3. The 2 got the third one going. I called Brian, he didn't answer. I called the police twice, and what they gave me for an answer was this, I don't know who this person in Hyde Park is, but she ain't too swift, I guess, but he told me to call Brian. I said, I've called Brian, he doesn't answer. They told me your officers came over there, were over there. They weren't over there because I was standing
Yeah,
down.
we were there, we were over a ticket.
I don't know, they did get him a ticket finally?
Over a ticket.
Well, but I was standing down there, nobody came. They must have went and
He was
found
up there, he walked up there, parked his vehicle down the street and went up.
Oh,
He
okay,
found
that's-
her. She wasn't home.
He wasn't either. You
No, nobody was home. Either one.
Well, we're not gonna, I think we gotta change the wording in this dog thing to make the police the ones that go take care of the problems, because it isn't gonna happen. I'm gonna keep calling. And the lady over in Hyde Park, you might as well talk to nobody over there. But I think it's time to change, because he can't go to court. He said he doesn't have a ticket book. Do you have the ticket books now?
We always have that.
I've got the ticket book.
Not
I
for
just-
dogs, we write for noise. So it's,
Well, the whole neighborhood,
It's not-
everyone, the neighbors that just bought the house, Mrs. P's house, they're just, nobody wants to say anything over there, they're scared of him. But I'm not scared of him. And it's gonna turn into something different later down the road if somebody doesn't do something with it. Has he paid his, is Mary in here? Has he paid his dog taxes yet?
Who is he?
Mr. Fitzgerald, worthless Fitzgerald.
I have to go look. I'm not sure he did, but I thought somebody came in and paid him, but I'll go look.
I think they're under Nancy
Yeah.
Stewart, so.
Did he have
She
tags on
came
him
in,
much?
she went in and registered the dogs the day after the last time he complained.
Did she
Before.
register two?
Anyway.
Hers.
What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do with this problem over there?
Well, have they barked since?
No.
Okay. She was issued a ticket.
He will do his la land, and he'll do it again.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I think it's time, I mean, I'm gonna call you guys, I mean, I'm not gonna call him at 1:30
Well, we
tomorrow.
did have, there isn't a, dispatch is dispatch, but, you know, there is an arrangement after hours, late, wee hours of the morning, yeah, you do call the police.
I was told by the sheriff department, you gotta call the dog. And I said, I've already called them twice. I'm calling you now. I want something done.
I have a suggestion too, on my answering machine, you said they've been barking all day. So you might call before, because I would go over if it's not 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I did, that must have been a no message, because this is 1:30 in the morning.
When you called, it was 1:30, but you said they'd been barking all day, so I'm wondering, why did you wait till 1 o'clock in the morning
No,
to call?
I wasn't all day.
Okay, that's what the
First of
message-
all, I'm working all day, I don't sit around watching TV.
So the message said you.
Well, I wasn't very happy.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And this is not gonna continue over there. I mean, you gotta do
It makes
something.
sense to me that it, definitely after hours, if we should have it in a policy, the police should be handling it, it shouldn't be, you know.
That's
after
what I'm
9
asking.
o'clock.
That's what I'm asking.
That's my opinion, I don't know what you think, the rest of the board. But we have that kind of loosely arranged, or do we have it written down? It would be nice to have it in policy.
It's gonna be
It's
changed.
been a common practice for many
Yes.
years. I responded to a lot of dog complaints at night
Yes.
because Brian wasn't available. I think
Right.
it was a matter of practice, not policy. We just understood.
That's not what I'm told when I call the
Right.
sheriff department.
So it would be in order, I would think, to have it stated, so it's in a policy, and dispatch knows it, so if it's after 9 o'clock or whatever.
It's not just me now. The other people are
Right.
scared to say
No.
something. I'm not scared.
Chief, would you be willing to try and help educate the dispatch center on that piece of
Sure,
it? Think it again, I know.
Well, they don't have one right now. They're looking for something.
But I think it
But if we
changed.
created a new policy that said that and sent it to them, that they're gonna have it in writing.
Well, but if I can go back a couple of years, the very same complaint you have over the noise, but a different animal. And we dealt with a rooster a few years ago. And it was a constant.
Oh, that rooster was down here in Langdale's for years. That was my time clock.
One of Langdale's, this is different, but anyway, this one went on where numerous tickets were issued because of the constant noise complaint. And it ended up, the town attorney was involved, we actually took it through the court system. So the process will happen, the issue having is these frequency of events. It's not every night, we're issuing ticket after ticket after ticket. They've issued the ticket for that complaint, and they can only respond the next time you call, and please do keep calling. I mean, if we get a problem in the neighborhood, which it sounds like we do,
We want to
then
know.
we need to know. And the
Well, we
police
will.
department's our best witness possible. And for them to come in walking in is a great approach, because leaving the car down by Charlotte, walking up in is a great way to.
Well, I didn't really, they must have camped, I was down on my lawn. And,
Well, this is the second time. Remember the night I went down and took the dog away?
yeah.
It was out.
Well, how much did you folks find them?
Well, first offense is $100. Waiver is $50. Second offense within 6 months is $200. Then $200 from there on if it, if it's.
Did he pay you?
No, they don't pay us. They pay the traffic
Municipal.
court. They have to say.
That they paid it?
I don't know.
They're not gonna pay it. They're not gonna pay it. You're not gonna pay that bill. You don't care. If you lose a license, you're gonna drive without a license anyway.
Well, you know how you deal with that, because I've dealt with it before. I had one time on the Stagecoach Road where I gave him, I believe, 5 tickets. He got up to $500. At that point, if you got a $50 ticket doesn't get paid, it's almost not worth going after that. I don't think the town,
Right.
but that'd be up to the town.
Is this,
But if you keep continuing to get tickets and you get enough of them, then it would be worth going after. That's why I feel. But that's all you can do. I mean, you can't. I mean, he wrote the ticket. So.
Even at the end of the day, all you can really do is ask the judge to find them in contempt of court, and hopefully that they will pay that. But if you've seen what the chief sees, and Mary Ann sees from the municipal ticket bureau, and people that don't,
they don't
pay
know
fines.
nothing down there anyway.
So there's not a lot we can do about that.
I don't have no
That's-
faith in them both those down there anyway.
Well, it's funny because my book, I just got it out there. They was reading a little bit, and when you send that ticket into the state, they used to keep $6. Now they keep a lot more, don't
Oh,
they?
sure. Most of it.
Yeah, they keep most of it now.
So we don't get anything.
I understand how it works, but I don't know why they're gonna stick their fat noses in it, because they don't do nothing anyway.
Yeah.
We're doing the work and they want the money. They're useless down there.
What's your second issue, Buck?
I got 2 of them, and the other issue is, we talked about these signs on the Langdale Road, no exit, dead end. And then we're gonna need one on Sunset. Below and behold, Costello thought he was gonna go up my driveway with a box. This GPS, it's the same as thing in Smuggler's Notch. They don't look at, these drivers ought to know where they're going. Trying to go up my driveway with a twin screw with a box on it. And when they had the auction over there for Langdale, for the house over there, the Langdale house, they drive right around my truck on my lawn and just go to it. And I went out and told them, no, get the hell out. And you gotta have no outlet on both ends.
We put up more signs, but I can't promise people will read them and pay attention to them.
They will if you put them at the entrance, because I've seen some new ones, and recently, I don't know if it's been in Morristown, but I said, man, they finally got a sign here, no outlet, because I've seen trucks down in there. They can't get out. But if you make it, they're yellow, like the yellow ones are making, they'll see them. You put them on the corner on Sunset Drive before they make the turn.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, but our experience here is we put up lots of signs.
Well, I know, people don't read
And
it.
people don't read them.
It's something we can certainly
They're
try.
looking at their GPS
Put
on their
signs up.
phone.
I'll put signs up.
Yeah.
That's not the problem. I'll just offer that.
Wow.
It doesn't always solve somebody that's locked into a GPS.
They'll drive right around my truck and my car, my wife's car, and when I'm in there watching the news, and all of a sudden, truck goes down through.
But maybe it'll stop some of them.
Well, I got my deer cameras up now, so I know who they are. I've already talked to a couple of them. No,
I guess I won't go up there anymore then.
no. They work very well.
You don't trespass.
This other thing I wanted to ask, I read in the paper all the time about the police department. I want to ask the question. Why are we going to Woodbury to cover or help Woodbury or Hardwick Police to do something up there? I read this in the paper all the time. I want to know why we're going to Woodbury and other towns and who's covering our town when you're gone?
Those situations are usually mutual aid
Yeah, it's a
situations.
mutual aid. Generally, as Hardwick comes down here and helps us.
We got how many officers in this town? I mean,
2 on in the afternoon. So, you know, we never leave ourselves without somebody, but if there's a spare, they will go and assist. A lot of times we're looking for somebody, Woodbury, wherever it is.
I just ask, 'cause I read it all the time. What the hell are we doing in Woodbury?
It is a mutual aid.
Going fishing or what?
No, I know it sounds funny, but there's a lot of mutual aid that happens that really helps our community out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just asking a question. I never knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Stowe comes up here all the time, sheriff's department, we all work together.
Yeah.
So, but we wouldn't leave ourselves without anybody.
No, we don't.
Well, I assumed that other night that they were somewhere else, and I called twice.
Yeah, he was on another call, but yeah. He got there at he got there at 2.
If he walked up, that's why I didn't see him.
Yeah, it was 5 minutes to 2 we got there, so.
No,
We were still barking.
it must have been, I didn't think that I was down there, but anyway, okay. As long as you're there, that's fine. As long as you got it, I know he's not gonna pay his fine. I hope the place burns down anyway. That would solve the problem over there. It's a pig pen. And you ought to go look at his trash bin over there.
Yeah.
I mean, everything, he don't pick nothing up, his bags of trash everywhere's over there.
Is that it, Buckwheat?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for your input. Don't stop calling. You know.
Well, don't worry.
Okay. All right. Is there any other community concerns? We'll move on to new business. Number 1, approve interim vendor application.
This is a gentleman that wants to set up down by the rail trail and the Oxbow and do electric bicycle tours and rentals for the Moyle Valley Rail Trail. Todd, you've worked with him.
Very nice guy. Regular bikes and electric bikes. They call it some regular bikes too. People don't want to have a better workout, I should say. I don't want to say lazy, I guess. Nice guy. We asked him to do the Oxbow. He wanted to originally do by the trail kiosk. We don't have parking there, so he's going to unload, meet his groups at the Oxbow, unload the bikes, load them back up there. Shouldn't be there more than, I imagine, half hour in each end of the tour. Should be a really nice asset in addition to the downtown business community.
Does he have insurance, you know?
I don't. That wasn't part of this. I just talked to him.
He dropped off his insurance. So he's got his insurance and he's paid his fee.
Yes, he did. Is he a for-profit?
Yes.
Okay, do we hear a motion?
I make a motion to approve it.
Is there a second?
Second.
On a trial basis, you said?
Well, I mean, to see if this will work,
Yeah.
it might be a great thing.
If that's part of your motion, I really second it. Yeah, I'd like the trial basis thing, I think is important.
That's a good way to put it.
So
Is there any further discussion?
can we
Let's
come back and revisit this after he's done business
Yeah.
for
It's
some
good for, it's good for a year, right? He's got to reapply next year anyway. doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you want it shorter than that.
It expires November 15th.
Yeah, maybe it'd be smart to do this 60 days or something, and just to review it.
Or even put a clause in there or something, I don't know whether. But,
Well,
Any of these could
but
be-
again,
If it's the November 15th, I'm not against letting him go for the summer. And if we have complaints during the summer, we can take them up with him at a meeting one by one.
Yeah.
But at the end of the summer, we can take a look and see how the whole summer went. I didn't know this was open-ended, like forever thing, but no, it's a
Okay.
year-by-year permanent
Yeah.
application, so I'm better with that.
There probably would be foliage also,
Right.
Oh,
not
yeah.
just end of summer.
Till November.
I just can't, I'm just not wrapping my head around it. I've never seen such a business. So I don't know if it's gonna cause problems of any kind. I can't even imagine it would, but
We'll see.
Where did a bike?
Trying to think of like.
Red bicycle?
Yeah, that's what I'm relating it to, is now Liana's coming.
Kevin Cambridge,
Oh, we had bicycles.
Jeff, they rent out canoes.
Go to ball.
Can I ask one question about it? Is he going to be leading tours, or is he going to be renting out the electric bikes and to individuals?
It looks
have
like both, electric
sign-
bicycle tours and rentals.
I think it's both. From my understanding, the main part of business is the tour. I think if you want to rent a bike and didn't need a tour, I think he'd probably let you rent the bike and go, I would imagine. And really the issue here is what's the parking lot at the Oxbow like? Is there capacity for this guy to load the bikes and the people to park there? Right now, I think there is. Maybe if it's popular enough, there won't be at some point. So it's good you can revisit it if you grant it.
Is it only Thursdays? Is that what it's saying? That's kind of weird worded. It's just
To start
Thursdays
Thursday.
beginning June.
Yeah, Thursdays.
Okay, is there any further
Start
discussion?
on Thursdays.
9 in the morning to 6, is that what it is?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So passed. Next, approve town forest improvement thinning contract.
There's another copy, right? The Conservation Commission has asked that we extend our contract with Doug Small for doing the forest improvement, the lumber, tree cutting work up in the town forest. Last winter was really a bad winter for forestry operations, so they'd like to extend this contract for another year for Doug.
So it's really the same 40 acres over on Bryant
It's the
Pond?
same, it's the same 40 acres,
Okay.
it's the exact same contrast, we just extended it for another year, because he really didn't have a good opportunity to get up to
That's
work
what I
last year.
thought.
The winter was just really too short, too long.
Do I hear a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
I would ask that you authorize me to sign that on behalf of the select board.
Is that part of the motion?
How long are you,
It goes to,
how long are you, to July or?
July 2017.
yes,
From
July.
May 24,
Yeah.
2016. It's on page 4.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So passed. Number 3, approve easement for Katie's Falls water line.
This is the easement that Todd has been working on very hard.
So it's not our easement, it's easement with the village, but as you know, we're taking the load and lead in the construction of this project.
Yeah.
So I want you guys to look at the terms and you're going to authorize the payment for the easement. So in short, the Katie's Falls Water Project, as you all know, brings the existing end of the terminus of the village water line in Highland Estates across a rail trail and Robert Rodette's lawn to Katie's Falls Road to connect the two water systems and supply the 20 residents Katie's Falls with village water. So obviously this easement, I can't get there. I could run the yard, I can get there, but this easement was one of the plans. It was a important part that we finally finalized it. This easement pays Robert $5,500 for 20 feet of his land for an easement over. It's not a conveyance. So a 20-foot wide easement, $5,500. It was $5,000 was the offer. We offered to pay $500 of legal fees. Ed French was much more expensive than that. That's Robert's issue, not our issue. So we're going to pay Robert $500, and Robert can deal with Ed French's legal fees, which are, I think, we're billed with $1,100. With the easement, we have the understanding that if any trees that's got maple trees on the property line that are impacted, we'll replace them with shrubs. We're not going to replace them with trees, just to keep the screening from the neighbors. And then trees come down, they'll get over it. So, pretty simple, but you need the select board to authorize.
The reason why this is a little particular is because the funding actually comes out of the funding that the voters approved for the construction of the water line. So you're borrowing. But you're actually buying this easement for the village, not for the town. We don't want to be in the water business. We don't want to have anything to do with it. So the reason why I thought it was a little bit more unusual is purchase real estate on behalf of the village for the construction of this water line.
Yeah, it's unusual you guys are saying village easement, but.
Right, well, they've got to approve it too.
Yeah, this
From
project we
everything.
got done, Dan and I were taking a lead at it. The village is fine with this. They're not paying $5,500, so
Right.
they don't care. But that's what you're guys are always.
But they want the water.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
We all do.
I think the village, I think the village would live with it without the water line, but I think there are a lot of people who want the water line.
Mhm.
The only reason we're really leading this because we're the ones with the taxing authority in the town. So they're the ones that have the capability to get it done.
The water business isn't really a profitable business, a very profitable business, the way they run it, so there's not a big rush to get existing new customers, to add new customers to your customer base when you're in just the water business.
All right, do I hear a motion?
I make a motion, authorize Dan to go forward.
Actually, all you need to do is authorize the payment that Todd described
For
to
the
you.
5,000?
Yep.
Right. Because the village is gonna actually execute the easement,
Okay.
not me.
Yeah.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So passed.
Well,
Yes, thank you, John.
doing the video again?
Yes. Next, award contract for Katie's Falls water line.
Correct.
Is that in your, is there
No.
a breakdown in your packets?
Nope.
All right. The engineer and I both recommend, Originale Engineers, that we award the contract to Munson Engineering, our construction. They were the low bid for the construction of this water line in the amount of $198,280.
And that's what we thought it was going to be.
Under budget.
It's actually under budget.
Is it?
Right. There'll be more cost to this just because there are some unknowns, but based on the unit prices and everything that they gave us, they were low bid, it was a good bid. But we know there's going to be some blasting, because we know we're going to run into ledge. So that's going to be an additional cost, but we have a good unit price on the stuff like that. So they're going to blast, and they're going to charge us for how much they want to blast, normal construction procedures for that. But it's a good price, they're a good reputable company. Actually,
I'm very happy that Munson has it because the biggest part about getting permits for this project from the state is they gave me a really hard time about going onto the rail trail. The state was originally going to make us jack and bore into the rail trail, which would have been the first time in the history of Vermont that it required jacking and boring to make a recreational trail. They've always allowed it open cut. So because Munson built the rail trail as it is right now, they're the company the contract was asked to actually reconstruct it. They're the perfect company to cut through it and rebuild it. So I'm really happy that they're a little bidder in that regard because that was a big concern. And I had the best people possible, people built it to put it all back together.
All right, do I hear a motion?
Make a motion, we authorize Munson awarding the contract.
For the water line.
Is there a second? Sounded like a second, you bet.
Yeah. Yeah, second.
Any further discussion?
Todd needs to get a lot of credit for getting this thing done and through. Just because we've been working on this project for 3 years now.
2.5, yeah.
Last year, Todd was working with the state to try to get the permitting in place for the state last fall. He was very, very helpful. We'll get it done this construction season. We showed a lot of perseverance staying with it, getting it finalized through the state, even though the state kept pushing us to do things differently. Just like with the open cut and the board jack. Todd stayed with the project, and we're finally ready to go. This took a lot longer to get done, and a lot more effort to get done than it should have, getting the permits in place through the state. It was a nightmare. You think something as simple as trying to get a water line to people that don't have water would be easy to do.
It's very hard to do.
It was almost impossible to get these people. They run out of water. You would think that the state would say, great, somebody's getting a water line, how can we help them? It wasn't like that at all.
When you say the state, what do you mean? Was it the conservation?
Drinking water
people
issue.
or the-
Drinking water. I mean, the things that they came up with for us to do to try to, they have no water. They're concerned about. Gee, you're not going to have enough water pressure for these people. You may not be able to run a fire hydrant. They have no water now.
The issue was actually because of the drop. There was never an issue of water pressure for the people on Katie's Falls going to the village system. There's crummy water pressure in Pinewood Estates. And the state was basically saying, go take your money, the voters authorized for Katie's Falls and go fix Pinewood Estates. I'm like, I can't do that. This will improve it, I believe, but I can't go fix other problems. We applied for this permit from the state this time last year. We were told in, I think it was August, late August, that we'd have the permit this construction season. We didn't get it to what, March?
Yeah, well, actually March, April, because that's when we finally decided we had enough information to go out to bid.
Yeah, and permit comes with even the permit we got, it comes with things we didn't expect. For example, the state is making us go update the wastewater permit for every lot we're hooking onto the water system,
Of course.
just because the water source is changing. The septic system isn't changing, nothing, but we have to go, I have to go do 20 wastewater permits after this.
So just craziness like that, you know?
Yeah.
But it was just almost impossible. You think, once again, you think something, this should be simple. You know, we've got it funded. They even questioned how we were paying for it. You know, it was just.
Yeah, they didn't want to prove it until we gave our financials. They didn't want to.
They really didn't like that we were doing this ourselves.
We want us to go through their system.
They wanted us to use their loan process so that they could control every step and that they could literally, you know, because that's what they do. Plus, they get to make money off of that because they pay their engineers to do all that work. When we come and we do these projects ourselves, they don't necessarily get the oversight that they'd like to have on. Not that there's anything wrong with the water line, but that's how they sustain themselves.
They don't really like our little individual can-do spirit, do they?
So it took about 10 months longer than was necessary to get this permit in place.
Can I just ask, my ignorance on the whole program itself, but is this now going to supply municipal water to Highland Estates as well?
No, Highland Estates has municipal water.
It has municipal
They
water.
formed a fire district in the 70s or 80s and got municipal water that way. And that's the end of the line. I'm basically bringing the end of the line. All I'm doing is building a 1,100-foot connecting water line from the end of the line of Highland Estates to the existing line in Katie's Falls. That's really hooking up a couple houses on Needle Line in the back end with better infrastructure. So 1,100 square foot water line connecting point A to point B, and it took so much effort.
Yeah.
For people that didn't have water.
People that twice this winter didn't have water for multiple days at a time because it freezes.
And like I said, so the other thing that required was ways to try to improve the water pressure in Pinewood Estates. We can't promise that we could ever do that, but that was one of their criteria.
Yeah, so there are some additional costs we're going to take on as part of the funds we have from the voters. For example, we had to roll into this project. I mean, I'm getting Katie's Falls water. I'm going to have to bypass a vault in the Hearthstone parking lot as part of this project to improve Pinewood Estates. Otherwise, we wouldn't have got the permit. So it's an additional cost. Hopefully, we'll do it all under budget, as usual.
Do you
Okay,
need Dan to authorize Dan to sign the contract?
I think Brian did.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really just the money, the easements with the village and Audette. So it's really just the money.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Thanks,
opposed?
Todd.
Well,
Bye-bye. Thanks, Todd.
really tired of us.
Next, sign loan documents for Katie's Falls water. Just like,
You don't have,
we don't have,
that's the one we discussed today.
Okay.
What you have is the tax anticipation note. Did you add that to your change?
we don't have.
No, but you can sign those. You've already approved that.
Yeah.
The Katie's Falls note, the way it has to be written, they needed an opinion from bond counsel, so you'll have the documents at your next meeting.
I'm sorry, I should have deleted that one.
And again, the funding for that is, at town meeting, you approved a special tax district to tax certain commercial industrial properties for 10 years. You're basically borrowing against those anticipated tax revenues.
We don't need a motion for it, it's already, we just sign it. Right?
The tax anticipation note you've already approved, so you just sign in on documents.
And a loan document.
And when the loan docs come from Katie's
Then we'll
Falls,
approve them. Okay. All right, next.
I think you should have a motion to sign the tax anticipation note.
Okay, in that
You
case,
approved the bid, but
It was
you
approved
haven't,
by the town, right?
yeah, but you haven't had a motion to sign the docs.
in that case, I would ask the board to make a motion to amend the agenda to sign the tax anticipation loan documents.
Under new business.
Yes, please.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Yeah, I second.
Don't all speak at once. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So passed. All right, next. 6, appoint Todd Thomas as representative to Historic Society.
I make a motion, we appoint.
That was quick. I have to talk about it?
Yeah, you want to talk about it?
There's one thing you should do.
No, we don't talk, we just appoint.
Well, I'd like to do it. I do a lot in town, but I do a lot that's job related. Even like the I staff the bicycle and pedestrian committee. That's my own time, but that's still kind of my job related. It's still my office. This is nothing that I office. I think would be a fun way to give back to the community. The reason I'm noting it is the select board. I'm basically serving as a select board rep. There's supposed to be a select board person on the historical society. I'd be serving as your rep on the historical society since you guys haven't had one in a while, I guess. They're to get me on there. They'd be happy to amend their bylaws to say a select board person or designee. So
Yeah, because I was sort of supposed to be doing this.
and someone else before. They haven't had much select board input for a long
And
time.
there
Before
really
that.
hasn't been anything that I've done or.
I went one night, remember when I met Mary Ann, and I wasn't welcomed, I don't think, at that time.
What am I going to myself into, Brian?
Well, I have a personal desire for the Historical Society. And part of that is why we have money in the budget. But we haven't had any leadership from that Historical Society to spend that money.
Yeah.
There's a new director. So you will, and a new board president. I think. So there should be some change.
Yeah, the president's Jill Mudgeon, and they've gotten some new, fresher members recently, and they're really excited to have it. So I think it'd be fun.
So you're replacing me?
Pretty much,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, they tried to recruit me, but I said no.
You're putting me as
Right.
a select board person.
Right.
I declined and I said I was too busy, so I'm happy to have you do it.
Okay, good enough.
Do I hear a motion?
I already made the motion. Looking for a second.
Before I sat down, I made the
Is
motion.
there a second?
Right.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? So bad. Thanks, Todd.
Thank you, guys.
We're always happy.
We expect a report.
I'll be happy to provide a report. I don't know, that's a good question. We'll see.
Good luck.
Should be fun. It's only once a month.
All right, next, approved bid for the new cruiser.
Do you have the paperwork for
We do.
Okay. As most of you know, we've been doing these turnkey packages, well, my entire time I've been chief, so in the last, I think this would be the 5th one we've done with McMahon. So it's a bit of a sole source issue as far as putting the vehicle together. We get the cruiser, it's ready to go. It's marked, equipment's in it, ready. It's all included in the lease. So this year, looking at the vehicles, of course, we didn't do one last year. And this year, we found the Tahoe is way over in price. I mean, they're over 50 before you even start putting anything together. So we're looking at a Silverado crew cab, full crew cab.
Pickup.
5-foot box, yes. It's a special service vehicle, has a spotlight, everything on it, so it's set up for that kind of work. And the price will include all the lights, petitions, striping, and so on. He's got the list attached in there too, so. And obviously they're gonna start building them until July, but we kinda wanted a heads up if we were gonna be willing to do this, so you can order one, so.
It's amazing because I think those rigs are as nice as the Tahoes anyway.
Yeah, it's just like a Tahoe, so.
And you've got a little bed.
5-foot box, yeah. So that it could be a good try. That includes everything, tonneau cover and everything, liners, ready to go.
Leather, air conditioned
No.
leather.
No.
Rubber floor,
No sunroof.
no sunroof,
Hey, Chief,
regular seats.
from my old days, let me ask you, is there a sync package with this? With phones? Cell phone sync package?
I would think it would.
I think they all have it now.
I think they all do now.
Yeah.
One of the things that you and I talked about years ago about these.
Yeah.
Because one of the complaints we would get is with the onset of the handheld electronic device usage is we were.
I think GM.
I think they all do. I'm pretty sure we just bought a new car and I think the salesman said they all are.
Right.
Yeah.
So the last one we got was a Tahoe, that's 3 years old, so I think they're updated now.
What
Good idea, though.
What they cost me?
It is.
Pardon?
What's the cost of this vehicle?
Interestingly, it came in retail 43,000, but we're gonna be putting on just under 9,000 add-ons, and we're still gonna do 43,000. So
45. it says.
45,000.
45,275.
45.
Base price is 38,695.
Yeah.
That's a lot cheaper than the Tahoe. I was
You can't-
looking at
you can't-
Tahoe,
Said, I
they're
asked
70
him,
grand.
You can't buy a ton dump truck, bare, with the air conditioning in it, and that's 55,000.
Yeah, I know.
I asked him after we talked on that, I said, what would a Tahoe been? He said, 10,000 more.
Yeah.
Easy.
Oh, yeah, I was looking at them, they're 70, 68.
Yeah.
Any issues, sorry, any issues, you have any equipment in the bed? Is that where you're gonna put some of the equipment you carry? or-
There, we have some drawers already in one of the canines, and he wants to look at something different, so yeah, we're gonna put it in the back.
You could put a hard
Some
ton on
removable, so we can use the bed if we need be.
Tailgates are all locking now, so.
Yes, yeah.
it. Like a hard tonneau cover would be good.
And the payment that he's got there is within our budget, so I'm gonna do it, so.
Sounds good. Denny, you had a question?
Yeah, that must be in 16 north. Your vehicle, you just bought a 16,
Yes.
okay, for my 15, that's still an option.
Yeah, I think the 16s are all,
See, this one
Yeah, I'll
was
say.
17.
yeah, I think the sales will tell me that. And I bought a Chevy, that's why.
Well, mine is a Chevy, and
Bought a
it's a
Chevy.
15, and it doesn't have hands,
Not truck. I bought a Chevy car.
They got a diesel?
No.
They should have a diesel. All right, do I hear a motion?
I make a motion we approve it.
but they still hold.
Second.
Second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So passed.
Thank you.
Number 8, approved pavement cut for Norm Nephew.
Norm was asked to pay the stuff to put up the water line in Springfield.
We've been waiting for that, right?
We have been waiting for that. So,
That's a good sign.
exactly, it's a very good sign, because that'll enable them to repair the sidewalk. So, we're actually not gonna close traffic, but we're gonna do is move traffic over the lanes,
Yeah.
so that, we'll close off those parking spots and let traffic move, because you gotta come quite a ways out in the street to get to the water main.
It's not gonna last that long
It's
either.
not gonna last that long, it's scheduled for a day, it won't take any longer than that. There is a charge that he needs to agree to the town, because per select board policy, we're gonna go back in and do the pavement repairs and all that other fun stuff ourselves. So he will have to agree to pay the town the maximum of $1,777.56 for us to do the patchwork in Portland Street, plus we're gonna put a temporary asphalt patch on the sidewalk. Just because he's not gonna do the concrete right away, we don't wanna leave the sidewalk
Dirt.
so we'll put an asphalt patch in there that we can take up later. That way, when he comes in to do the sidewalks that's in front of the building now, that are all tore up, and where he has to do his foundation work, then he can patch our sidewalk as well. It doesn't make sense to do concrete work twice. So we'll put a temporary asphalt patch in there.
Is there a timeline on that sidewalk replacement?
I would recommend that the board, maybe 2 or 3 months to get him to do that.
Before winter?
Yes.
I don't want our village guys having to take that street cleaning machine over that.
Right. I
God, I
would
would ask.
recommend that there is some type of time frame to get the sidewalks.
Todd, is that your lane I'm jumping into? I don't want to. if that's-
No.
Better safe than
You guys
sorry.
previously gave him till July 1st to remove the barricades or to basically finish the buildings, which is never going to happen. I sent the zoning violation out today that timed out with your July 1st, so I basically asked for the barricades removed by July 1st. But you may want to ask for the money in escrow up front. Just thinking.
Who installs the water line, water and light?
They just help with the wet tap. These EJ Prescott's doing the actual tap. So
Oh.
they're installing, your brother's got the contract, I believe, to do the work for him, to do the digging and lay the pipe. Water and light, I think EJ Prescott does the tap, but I think water and light supervises the tap. I'm not exactly sure how they,
I think that's right. I think you're correct.
I think so too. I mean, I know water and light is involved with the tap, I don't think they actually do it. EJ Prescott comes in and does the wet tap. So,
But Joe's doing the excavation.
Joe doing the excavation.
Are they sprinkling the building finally? Or what are they putting in?
That's what the main, that's what the water, I'm not saying they're gonna put sprinklers in, but they have to have this water line.
It's a first step.
A bigger line to get more water into the building.
That's 5 more years looking at
They can't do
that.
it the source that they have right now, they can't put sprinklers in.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
I make a motion we approve the curb cut once you get the money and
Yeah.
that amount in your hand.
Okay, so you pay us up front for that? Okay.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Adding a deadline for the
Yeah.
patch to be done,
For the
September
patch
1st
to be
maybe?
Sidewalk work.
Yeah, well, I think what Eric said is good.
In July.
Well, before winter's what you
Yeah.
said.
No later than 1 October. 30 September.
Well, he's gonna have the plywood down.
Give him time to miss your deadline and still be able to do it with the weather. I'd recommend.
So
Better say
I have a lot of
August
experience.
31st.
Better say August 1st.
August
At least September 1st at the latest.
September 1st?
Okay,
Okay.
do
What are
I,
you gonna do to him?
all in favor, say aye.
Continue to provide.
Aye.
Any opposed? So passed. Next, number 9, approve fireworks permit for Ryan Hannon for 4th of July. 2016.
Bob, Eric needs clarification on the motion. What was the deadline date?
Deadline date was
September.
August 1st.
August 1st. Is that, you okay with that?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's
Wait,
ridiculous,
August-
it's not gonna
Good
happen,
question.
so.
I heard 2 different dates as well.
But give us a
That's why I
little
was thinking September, but, yeah, I don't care.
hope for August, hope for September when you say August.
Yeah, exactly. Give yourself wiggle room.
Hope for November when you say August. Anyway, all right,
How did you get away with it?
do I hear a motion with the fireworks permit?
I'll make a motion to get it started.
I'll second if you get that communication going.
Any further discussion?
This is the 4th of July, right?
Richard,
I was gonna say, 61 Payne Avenue is right in the middle,
Yes.
biggest
it's right in my
residential.
neighborhood. Couple things I want to point out, I didn't sign off on that
Right.
knowingly. Number one, in my opinion, that's pretty condensed neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, right across the street, just a few years back, a permit was denied.
I remember that one.
So, you do, good, okay. So, that's, and not accusing him of anything, but he's been setting them off for years in that area.
So you want to get a permit this time?
Without a
He wants to
permit?
get a permit, so that makes me say, okay, you're gonna get a permit, it's gonna be twice as bad.
It
So,
says less than 10 items,
yeah, I realize that.
sort of scribbled in after.
Yeah, I saw that.
But what does that
So-
mean, really?
It means 10 pretty good sized fireworks.
Well, I would agree, because that's one
Just
thing I was
tell
gonna
them
bring up, that's
fireworks.
why I said for discussion.
It's pretty
Because I remember
clear.
the time we turned it away, because to me, shouldn't be done in the village. Get out someplace, go up on the golf course.
I mean, I realize just the border over, he's got one right on, but.
That's my thoughts, awful close houses.
Can I ask a question? So what happens if somebody does shoot off fireworks without a permit? Do they get a fine, or do you go up there?
The realistic thing very little happens. Because by the time you realize there's a problem,
And where it's
you're
coming from?
almost done.
It's over, you can't find it where it was.
So.
Yeah, but so let's say somebody does it, and a neighbor calls and says they're shooting off fireworks, and you happen to get up there in time. Do you have to catch them doing it?
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
Well, what's the fine?
That's similar to the noise, I believe. It's a
Not like
$100.
$100 ticket.
The thing of it is, if we don't give them a permit, like you said, they may do it anyways. But if we give them a permit, something happens, then we.
Maybe worse. Danny, what do you think?
Yeah, what about
Well,
fire?
I signed it tonight because we're looking at what he wants to fire off. It's all real low budget stuff.
If that's what it is,
Well, I'm saying that's what his permit's for.
right?
I ain't saying that's what he's gonna shoot. I
Right,
don't
that's what
know.
Richard's kind of leaning to.
Right, so as far as the fire aspect of it, with what he's got written down, fire-wise, there's no danger. But I have talked with Richard, and yes, I know throughout the summer, there's somebody over in that area of town that touches off fireworks, and it's usually 5 or 6 at a whack, and they're usually done before anything's even picked up on the scanner. My opinion
Some
on
of
the
them have been very big. too.
Yeah.
No
My
plastic.
opinion on the 4th of July is my opinion, is as a taxpayer. It is Independence Day. That's all I'm gonna say.
Are you gonna have fireworks in your house, Danny?
If I choose, I will, yes.
Is there,
I hope you get a permit.
No, I wouldn't.
So is there ordinance against shooting off fireworks in this town or in the village?
Without permit, yes.
Without
The noise.
Yeah, noise
It's a noise
and
thing?
fireworks and
And then likelihood of
fireworks.
fire.
Some are illegal, I mean, you're low level, which,
Right, Class C is not illegal, I know
These are
Class B.
Cs.
yeah, some of those are legal.
Yeah. See, Class C.
As I said, I mean, he's been, somebody from that house has been doing it for years. And
For years.
now he wants a permit, so it tells me,
It may be a bigger show.
yeah.
And if it's a bigger show, I'm not sure with the law with that with you
Yeah.
guys.
Well,
Or if that's when the town would get involved and go, what are you setting off?
And again, his
Right.
neighbors were denied, I think, a couple times. And,
If you see something
Yeah.
on orders, call.
Well, Class C is
That'd be
pretty
bees.
good size. Class C is,
Hey,
Yeah,
Danny,
they are.
It's
Down.
not even the fire as much as it could get hurt too.
yeah,
to your point, I agree that Independence Day and people want to let off fireworks, it's fine, but it's a responsibility piece that adds to that. I think but the location is horrible.
I've had a cop in Boston tell me that. They got a noise complaint from my sister's neighbor, and he said, you know what? I'm going on the other side of the river. He come down, we're on the dock lighting them off. He watched them. And he goes, I don't know who the unpatriotic so-and-so was. This is a Tommy cop. He goes, well, I'm going on the other side of the river. I see what you're doing here. It's perfectly safe to me. Have a good night.
Well,
So-
that's on water though, isn't it? Is that
Yeah,
what you're
it was
saying?
on water.
Yeah, that's totally different. Than
I
doing
mean,
it in
people are gonna
town.
fire them off 4th of July, and, you know, we're basically overwhelmed. And
Right, yeah.
so, you know, it just, and we hope that they're all done by that time, but.
but if we sign off
No
on
one
this,
can
it's
give
our
a
liability.
permit.
I'm not comfortable with this because
Neighborhood.
I'm not comfortable. I think Class C is really something where, at least from what I understand, you should have at least a fire department person there or
Right.
a
Not
professional
for C.
person.
Well, if you have trained people.
C is
Train-
firecrackers.
C is a consumer.
Right.
C you can
B
go and get
or
a
A.
score.
B, I'm sorry.
B
So
or-
B.
B and A are your two.
Right.
Well, okay,
Like,
so I got that.
Mary Ann's husband sets off B's close to A.
Right.
That's
With a permit.
that's a professional show.
But where does
That's
that
when you're
happen?
Putting two
Yeah, it hasn't happened for years.
since you blew up the ring.
But where did he do it? On the water
At
or
our
something?
house.
Fraser Road.
And the free
Oh,
road way up.
Fraser Road.
There ain't too many fireworks in Morrisville set off anywhere near water. The school's not,
Right.
Right.
because we don't have no water. We
Yeah.
got a river.
What do you guys want to do?
Yes, I understand that. I'm just saying that I'm not comfortable with this
Vote it down.
because of
I
where
just
it's.
signed it because there's not a risk of fire
Right.
danger. If it was too dry, I wouldn't have signed it.
So what's gonna stop other people in the future coming and getting permits in town and shooting off fireworks like
Nothing.
this?
You guys,
We can-
No, but we won't, because if we say yes to this, then we won't really be able to say no to the next person.
Well, case by
Yeah,
they
case.
do, they case by case, just
Yeah.
like Ryan and Richard said, his neighbor across the road was rejected because of a permit.
Right.
But you're gonna issue, well, I mean, but you also have a request in, if you haven't approved it already, for Memorial Area Cancer Network's walk.
That's done.
That's done.
That was done last.
That's
Yeah.
done by professionals and.
Yeah.
There's a marsh.
Right.
marsh-
But
That's different.
Those are big, those are bees.
Yeah.
Well, one way to look at it too, like up there, them fireworks, even if they get off a little bit, they're still on the same property. When you're up at a lake and they're out over a lake or on the property, in that tight neighborhood, there's a chance one of them could get loose and go onto the neighbor's property and do damage, and somebody could get hurt. Chance, maybe they wouldn't.
Precedent
Okay.
for the village.
And the next thing is because we've already been there, done that, you know, it's the same neighborhood. It's pretty tight up there.
All right, let's put it to vote then. All in favor, say aye.
Wait, what'd you just say?
I put it to vote.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed?
No.
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 Motion failed. Let's say no.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
Okay, next, old business.
No, you got that. Or did we already do that?
We did it.
You still need to make the motion to approve the signing of the loan documents.
I thought we did that.
You added,
Okay, we did.
Yeah.
you added it to the agenda.
You added
did
it to
it.
the agenda, but I don't think you did
We
the
did it.
deal. You did?
We did. I remember. Right?
Erica?
You added it to the agenda.
Yes, that's what I thought.
That's what
The
Dave
motion should have been
added.
to add it to the agenda.
Oh, and then another motion after that.
Yeah.
You need another
We didn't
motion.
I voted.
Nine, but wait,
Thank you, John.
So, yeah, Brian and then Yvette seconded it to add the
To add
sign,
to-
tax anticipation.
To add it to the agenda.
yeah, remember I
To add
said,
to the agenda, now you need to actually.
and you
make a
guys make
motion
fun of me.
to
Okay.
sign them.
I remember.
Do I hear the
I wrote it
motion?
down.
How was the motion gonna be worded?
This would be a motion to approve the loan documents for the tax anticipation note.
Sign
Sign.
the loan documents for the tax anticipation note for FY17.
So moved.
Was
Second.
one of those a second? Any further discussion? All in
We should
favor, say
have
aye.
simultaneous interpreters in here.
Any opposed? So passed.
Oh, aye.
Old business. Is there any old business? No? Move to Board of Liquor Control.
Nothing.
Mary Ann. TA report.
Just a couple things for me. Bridge Street project moving along nicely. So, it's really turned over to the village right now. They're putting the water line in. That's going well. So, just for all practical purposes, we're on schedule. They're in there putting the water line in. Once they get out within the next couple of weeks, so we're going to start doing the work that we have to put the street back together. So.
You had any concerns from the residents down there? Any word from anybody down there?
Actually, the residents are happy. We're keeping it graded off for them, We didn't do it this weekend because we really need to rechloride the street if the dust gets bad. This weekend, we really didn't have to do that just because the rain kept it down. So they're able to get in and out. We moved the mailboxes around, so I haven't had any, Todd, you heard anything from neighbors?
Other than figuring out the mail the first day.
Yeah.
Neighbors in time.
Yeah, I haven't had any issues. So the only issue that we had was a little bit, and I'm not sure, with a request for more signage, warning people that the street was closed, but I
It
don't,
says detour,
yeah, I don't know what
and you
else.
can't get your car through there.
You can put your signs up,
I
but that doesn't
tried.
mean they'll read them.
That's
No, I
right.
didn't. But it says detour, and there's a big arrow, so,
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought the barricade was pretty
The
effective.
barricade looks like a little intimidating to me. I don't know.
But other than that, it's moving along nicely, so we should be out there. We've got the asphalt out to bid. So hopefully we'll be out there mid-July without a problem. I don't think we put it back together. The Cadiz Falls Bridge project right now is tentatively set, scheduled to start June 20th. So that will close that bridge for somewhere between 2 to 3 months. While the state comes in, they'll sandblast it, it's going to be completely repainted. Any steel work that's left, which shouldn't be too much, will be completely done. And then that bridge will be finished for a very, very, very long time. So that project starts up soon. And the final note, as of June 1st, Carroll completed 35 years of continuous.
Thank you. Yes, I am the old lady of the town.
I'm 1 year behind you on Friday, it'll be 34 years from now.
Just 35 years, it's
That's awesome.
amazing. It's just amazing, so.
Yeah, it is amazing.
She started on a highway crew too, didn't she?
Who can remember?
No, it was a sewer department.
Help.
I didn't know you could start when you were 7.
Thank you.
Oh, gee.
Oh, isn't he sweet?
I check my people, start next time around. That's all I have. The other stuff that we've been working on is the executive session stuff. So.
That's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
All right, any questions for Dan? Next, select board concerns. Joni,
None.
you sure? Yvette,
None.
Brian,
Yes.
Just a question about the gym. I had somebody call me about the painting on the front of the gym.
me too.
And their concern was not, they thought it looked nice, but who's responsible for the gym? Do they have to
Gym.
get permission? The school gym, the Copley gym.
It's a complete
It's in this week's News and Citizen, right now.
It's the town building, right?
The town does own the building.
I should have asked you before tonight, but
I have to go. That's the first time.
do you know Mary Ann who's?
I had two people ask me about it,
I've heard people talk about
two
it.
complaints.
No, but how's the gym? It's kind of a,
I
Butterfly.
have to go, I have a file on it.
okay.
Um,
There's a big mural on the front of the gym, brick wall, butterflies and flowers, and
Oh, I see.
which it looks nice, but I thought it should be a wolf, like wolves. But,
That's what I heard. And then some people said, is that graffiti?
but if it's our building, we should have gotten asked. You know, I don't
That's the
know.
I understand the
question.
age of building, but for one, I think the art looks really cool.
They went through a whole process at the school
Right.
to get permission to design it, the colors, I mean, they went through a whole process to put it there.
And as far as my fixed assets go, I've gone through there. It's not, because I don't believe it's listed on the lister's office as a town building.
I know it's a town building from the listers.
You do?
Charlie and Francis, we talk about all the time.
I knew that it was a town building because remember the gun show? That's
Yeah.
why we could have gun shows up there because it wasn't a school building.
That's right.
It's a town
I'd be
building.
interested
But
to
then
see
there was
what
the
this
other
is.
thing about, it was village property and it's just on the footprint that the gym is on.
Yeah.
And didn't
And
it
it-
change in size too over the years? Wasn't it added on to?
Not the
No,
gym.
not the gym.
Because there was
Just like the
gym,
attachment to the.
yes, the
Yeah.
connectors.
But the person that spoke to me about it was more interested in why they didn't ask permission from the town or whoever they should have.
And I guess my question would be, what happens when they're ready to get rid of it? Do you sandblast it off?
Sandblast it, yeah.
Repaint the bricks? What do you?
The only way you ever get rid of that, especially on a brick surface, is to sandblast.
Yeah.
That's the only way it'll
Yeah.
come off. You'll never be able to again.
Do you know who painted it? Was it students?
Students, yeah.
Students.
The students.
And it does look, well, it
Yeah.
looks nice. Should have been down on the building down the street here maybe,
Yeah. But it might be a question to communicate to the school, if it is.
Well, let's look
Okay.
it up.
Yeah.
I told him I would ask.
Yep.
That's all I have.
Eric? Nothing? I don't have anything either, except for thank you for covering when I was gone. Good job.
You're doing all right, though. You getting there?
Yeah, it's only 7.
Okay,
Let's go.
next, approve warrants.
So moved.
And a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So pass. Other business. Collective bargain union agreement negotiations, possible executive session.
I move to find that premature general public knowledge of labor relations agreements with employees will clearly place the town at a substantial disadvantage by disclosing its negotiation strategy.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? So pass.
I move that we enter into executive session to discuss town's labor relation agreements with employees under the provision of Title I, Section 313A1 of the Vermont statutes.
And we're gonna ask Richard and Dan.
Richard and Dan, stay.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Thanks.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So pass. Thank you.